It's a pretty heavy credential for professionals. You know, again, we're going away from the degree programs where you have to spend 4 years to get some type of credential, to get a job, for example. But in this sense, if you're improving yourself, if you're trying to get to the next level in your organization, or if you're trying to change things within your organization, by being here for that length of time will change how you think. So this certificate, I think, for organizations or for employers is a very valuable one in that sense, where your employee will come back with a different, equipped with a different set of thinking. They might come back with a new set of design thinking skills which they can apply right away to their job, and they can help you reshape your organization. Recent learners, the interactive piece is very important. So they're not just here coming to sit in the classroom and learn. It's a one-way street from the faculty, right? It used to learn like that, where you come in, you get the knowledge you need, and then you leave. Right now, it's we've had participants actually, you know, come here. They have their thinking. They're like, okay, I'm here to learn something, but it takes a left turn, you know, on the first day of learning, because then they meet different people and they start talking about, even we've had participants talk about, oh, we should launch a company together because you have the skill I need. You have the skill I don't have. She has the skill that you don't have. So we've had a lot of explosive conversations within the course that takes place. That doesn't happen in the traditional type of learning setting. So I think the learners themselves are changing in what they're expecting. I think even people that come together and they say, oh yeah, let's start something, the chance of that really happening, coming to fruition, you know, takes a lot of effort and commitment. But what happens in that time is you have an employee that's already thinking differently, right? You have somebody who's exposed to other ideas and other skills, and you can't be afraid of that, because if you're afraid of that, you're going to be behind the race on what's happening out there, and you always want to be ahead of your competitors. You need the market knowledge and industry knowledge from other types of companies on what they're working on. And I think people are much more open to share that right now. I know a lot of companies are afraid, you know, about sharing confidential info. That doesn't happen in the classrooms. You know, they're not sharing their confidential information from their companies. What they're sharing is an exchange of ideas, and it creates a spark. And I've witnessed that myself several times. It creates this spark that they're like, you know, even though they talk about, oh, we could do something together, maybe he could bring it back to his company and do it there. And maybe he could go to his boss and say, I worked with an engineer, I worked with a designer. This is the type of people we need in our organization in order to get this project going. So I think employers can't be afraid of sending their employees out there to train. If the employee is, you know, I think it's a very valid investment for employers to let their employees go out there and explore. And if you're afraid of that, you're going to be behind the 8 ball. Yeah, for example, we have an additive manufacturing for 3D printing course where, you know, you come in, people might be expecting to come in and sit and learn a bunch of stuff, right? But where the faculty actually takes you to his lab. He actually takes you to his lab, and you will actually design a project of your own, and you're 3D printed right there. Some people, and they'll learn that designing or learning, you know, and it is totally different from actually trying it out. When you try it out, you fail. And the faculty has shared with me that he's had people who had to, you know, 3D print 5 samples because the first one broke, the second one broke, the third one didn't come out as it was supposed to. So these are the kind of iterative processes that go on while they're learning here. So it's not just about sitting there, taking notes, reading the slides. It's moved beyond that, where you go into the lab space. One of our courses actually, it's a biomedical course for engineers, where the faculty is very passionate about developing medical devices for the heart. But he said engineers who are building these devices have never touched a heart. So he actually, in his course, he brings them into a lab, and they will go into dissecting a heart. Because he says if you're building something, you know, if you're building something so intricate, you need to be able to understand how it works. So these are the types of I mean, this spans across all the portfolio, whether certificate or non-certificate. All the courses have the hands-on applications where you will definitely not be sitting in your seats all day.